Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Nerdbuzzed!
Nerdbuzzed doesn't condone the consumption of alcohol by any persons under the age of 21. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome to Nerdbuzzed, the podcast where we talk about all the nerdy stuff that we care about and drink a cool, frosty beer while we're doing it. I'm your host, Marcus Ellinger, and with me as always,
Jeremiah Johnson.
All right, so this is episode 63, and I like to start them all out the same. Try to be really consistent. It's the OCD in me.
Yeah, well, we've done it since the first one.
Yeah, right? Consistency.
Yeah.
So that means we go over to you for the best part of the episode, the part I look forward to the most.
My favorite part.
Me too.
So we're talking about the beer, obviously.
Obviously, clearly.
Dinkasi Brewing's Dawn of the Red IPA, and I did not check. It is 7%.
Nice.
It's not
It's
too
got
bad.
a little bit of a kick to it there.
Yeah. I've had this one a few times. Kind of a staple at one of my friends' houses.
Nice.
And it's,
Are they a cheesy B horror movie fan?
yes.
Okay.
They are a very super
I think that's a safe assumption.
cheesy B horror. Actually, I think his rules on Netflix is it has to have a rating of under 2 or over 4.
Okay. There's no middle ground there,
No.
right? Yeah. Okay. Super something.
Yeah, so what do we think about it?
It's definitely got the nice ambery kind of red tone.
Yep. It tells bottle condition because it's very cloudy from the yeast, and I noticed when I was pouring it, I got that all from the pour, from the tail end of the pour. So it's bottle conditioned. It's
I know. I was trying to discern something from the smell, and it's
I'm not gonna lie, man. It
funky.
it smells like wet dog. It does. It smells like wet dog.
And not like fresh out of the bath wet dog.
No.
Yeah.
No. This is
Like running down on the farm on a rainy day wet dog.
it's the only kind of wet dog I know.
Yeah.
I've bathed in wet dog like that many times.
I don't think my olfactories are working super great today because I had a beer.
Oh, look at you pull from the vocabulary.
You like that?
Yeah.
I went to the Bob's Burger and Brew, and I got a Backwoods Brewing log hammer IPA.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't smell it at all. It was really weird, but it had such flavor
Really?
and everything to it. So I was surprised. I think something's up funky with my nose today. Because I don't get quite as much dog in there, but
I don't know. It's got a weird, just kind of slight funky, almost metallic smell like a wet dog has.
Huh.
I don't.
well, I'm dying
Color's
to give
good.
it the
Smells
ultimate test.
interesting.
Yes, and it has some head, and it's retained it. At least on my end.
Mine hasn't.
It's because you sniffed it all up.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like a magic marker. You can't get enough of that funk. Well, should we give it the ultimate test?
Sure. To all the nerds,
Through all the fuzz.
bottoms up.
Let's get nerd
buzzed.
I get a little bit of that funk at the very end.
A little bit. Not too bad.
It's pretty light, though, on your tongue. Pretty smooth.
It is. It's pretty sweet, but it's 7%. It denotes that. It carries it through pretty well. It's carbonated decently, so it doesn't like linger.
Yeah.
Decent malt body. It's a definitely lighter malt body than I was expecting for 7%. Little slight caramelly.
Good, because I was going to say that. I'm glad. I'm trying to work on my caramel senses.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Little slight
I don't know what the
caramelly body with
technical-
it too, with or malt body with it.
Yeah.
That gives way to that little bit of a funk to it, and I'm guessing they're using that funk's coming from the bittering hops, and they probably used I used a hop one time for bittering, and it did not translate at all into the finished beer, the flavor that I got from it, but it was called Warrior, the hops, and it was just super high alpha acid, which is what gives you the really strong bittering flavors, and it's designed to be put right in the beginning of the boil, so all you get from it is just the bitter. None of the aromatics or flavors, because you did not want any of those aromatics. It smelled like cat piss.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my god, this is bad.
So you think they got a little bit more aromatics in this one?
I think they're using a heavy hop like that, and they're putting it a little bit later addition. So you're getting some of the funk from it.
Yeah.
I
Alright.
seriously think what that's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, I can get it a little bit in there. I guess I'm a little glad my nose isn't working super spot on today. I am pleased though that because I'm not the biggest fan of a red beer, but I'm pretty pleased that it doesn't come across as overbearingly a red beer.
No, it doesn't.
It's really actually pretty nicely subtle in there with your kind of typical IPA flavors.
It's much closer to an IPA than it is a red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Okay.
Well, most of your reds are usually a little bit more in the caramelly flavor.
Yeah.
And sweeter just overall, which I think
Which
is just
this
why
is definitely sweet and has a little
Yep.
bit of that caramely, right?
Yeah, but I don't think it's as much, and it doesn't have that deep red color though that you get from most reds either.
Okay. So it's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call that.
Okay. All right. Well,
It's just
we're gonna
been
keep
bitten.
drinking
Hasn't
it.
fully turned yet.
Yeah. And I'm sure it'll get better. They usually do by the end, especially
Oh, yeah.
when we have 2 or 3 of them. So let's move on to our nerd play that we're playing. We're playing Day of the Tentacle,
We're playing Day of the Tentacle, yeah.
which is pretty much there was this old game called Maniac Mansion, and this
Okay.
is pretty much Maniac Mansion 2. Did you get far enough in Day of the Tentacle to unlock the original Maniac Mansion?
Yes, I played it. I played some of that on the computer of the now apathetic militaristic guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I played some of that.
Yeah. So that's which I thought was actually pretty sweet, that you can play the original game in the part 2.
Oh,
It's
okay.
kind of included in the I'm assuming it's in the original run also. I've never played this game originally, so we're playing the remaster, but I'm assuming that's just in there normally.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a remaster bonus or what, but my first impressions, I've only played it for maybe a couple hours so far now.
I think about an hour in it.
Yeah. So I'm still pretty early on. But I'm actually really kind of enjoyed it.
Are you?
Yeah, I think that the dialogue syncing is horrible. Like, it's the worst I've ever seen in a game.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. But I kind of like the way it's so Looney Tunes, and it's so like almost has this like Ren and Stimpy feel to it.
Yes.
Like
yes,
the
it
art
does.
style and everything.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So I kind of I love the way everybody is so stereotypically that character.
Yeah.
So I do like that about it. It's kind of funny.
I don't know, man. The roadies, they got it hard.
Yeah. No, I like the roadie. The roadie guy's awesome, and I really like the nerd guy too. The nerd guy's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten far enough to play too much of the chick, but so far she's the one that's the most overbearing and kind of annoying.
Oh,
in
she
this.
totally is.
Yeah.
Have you gotten the costume for her yet?
No.
Oh yeah, you get the costume for her, and she goes in, and right before you get the costume, you talk to one of the tentacles, and he's talking about. He says, "Yeah, you're kind of ugly. Your hair's awful." She says, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm kind of a babe where I come from." He's like, "Yeah, the kennel."
Yeah. Nice. I like that about it. It kind of the whole game kind of comes across that way.
Yeah, and then she gets the tentacle costume. Everybody's all the other tentacles are thinking she's hot,
Nice.
super
Nice.
hot,
Nice. So I'm actually looking forward to playing.
which
more
she's
of it.
not.
No, she's
Oh
not
my
at
God,
all.
it's-
Especially with her weird. She's got those weird eyes.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
and that's like the first thing he mentions is the eye, or second thing she mentions the hair, then the weird oblong eyes,
Yeah. But no, I'm actually looking forward to playing more of it.
and chewing on her fingers.
Yeah, all sorts of ridiculous
Yeah.
things. She's that character. But again, she owns that character, right? Like every character owns it to, just
To the 10th degree.
yeah,
yes.
right, totally, yeah. So, we'll play it for one more week. Try to get
Alright.
a little more time in on it.
Oh yeah.
We'll come back, we'll review it next week. So I really only have one thing for next week that I'm super stoked about. And that is on February 1st, we get episode 1. I believe it's season 4 of the 100.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the man, if it wasn't for Flash, it's so close to my favorite CW show. It's really good.
I might have to check it out.
You have to sit through the
I've
first
gotten-
4 episodes.
I've gotten behind on all my shows, so I've hit the point where I have to wait for them to come out full season now.
Yeah. It's because I love that it's super violent, and I'm amazed at the graphic violence and just blood and guts that are in it, and they get away with just regular network TV. Of course, I don't think it starts till 10, but totally worth checking out. The first 4
Nice.
episodes are a little rough, and you got to kind of get it. They're very CW, but then it kind of comes into its own and really starts to shine on its own as just this. It's almost got that like Battlestar, maybe not quite Firefly, but it owns its own show. I don't know how else to describe it. It's done really well.
So, did you catch, since you're the CW guy, did you catch the last Supergirl?
No, I haven't watched Supergirl.
Okay, because the last episode of Supergirl, is this one or the one before now? I can't remember. I think it was the one before. Anyway, either this one or the one before was the one that Kevin Smith directed.
Oh yeah, it's on my list. I just haven't watched it yet.
Oh, okay.
I have so many shows that I'm watching.
I want to catch that one. I think I want to go watch that one just to see what it is, but I don't know if it's going to work for me because I haven't seen any of the stuff leading up to it.
Well, I think, again, they ended their mid-season with the big crossover between everything, and I really think it was, we've stated several times, I know, at least I have, I don't want to speak for you, but the crossovers are my favorites, right? Because they shine so much as their own character.
I can only speak for the Arrow and Flash. I can't speak for the other ones, but...
Well, I think this actually mid-season break was the full-on crossover where Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, and Arrow were all crossed over, and I like them because when they guest star on the other person's show, they have to shine and own so much their character because it's not their show, and they just get to be in it for those moments. So it's like, here's all of me, here's my half-hour amount, but in this super condensed dose, right? So, which is awesome. But I thought that these last ones were so lackluster, and the Supergirl in particular was a normal Supergirl show except for the last 10 minutes, and then they threw in these connections with the Flash to now link it into this crossover. So it was kind of this weird cop-out crossovers. Again, I think CW is just starting to really stretch themselves thin with their superhero budget.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
It's like they only have so much in the superhero pool, and there's so many people in the pool, they're displacing too much money. Something's going on.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So,
totally makes sense.
But it's on my list. I want to watch it. I like Supergirl.
I want to say, it had him in tears on Facebook doing a live feed about it, so...
But that's not surprising.
No, he's always in tears.
Yeah. But I love that about him. I love that, right? I love the passion. I'm into it.
He wears his emotions.
Yes.
Or he smokes them in. Either way.
Yeah. So I do want to make one announcement that this is our last episode that we will be on Libsyn. So if you have not switched over to the Podbean or resubscribed, you need to do that because that's what we're going with.
Yep.
Last Libsyn one. We'll post this one on there. Then you got to switch.
Yep.
So that's enough of that. Did you score anything nerdy this week?
Did I score anything nerdy this week?
Did you do anything nerdy this week?
Well, yeah, we got
a nerd list.
We talked to the Rogue guys.
We did talk to the Rogue guys. I was going to save that for the very end, but if you want to do that now.
Well, that's the nerdiest thing I did, which is, I guess, not really nerdy. It's the beeriest thing I did.
Hey, that works for me. I was going to say the nerdiest thing I did. A couple. One was I played the Wii family dinner night.
Yeah.
And I played Samba de Amigo.
Samba de Amigo.
And I have to say, that is the most Hispanically Japanese game I've ever played in my life, and I love it for both those reasons. It's so good.
I gotta say, the video quality that you guys posted sucked.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. It was. That's on my wife. My wife filmed that, so don't blame me.
It sucked.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious at the same time.
Did you at least get the...
Oh, I totally got that.
Yeah, the maraca shake. I love that that's the game. You shake maracas. It's awesome. In this crazy Japanese, acid trip. It's great. It's only if you're doing good.
Only if you're doing good,
If not, then you're like West Side Story before they figured out where they are, and you're that lone shark walking through the alley, and it's really depressing. Right? Back to the Hispanic.
You're not all on your individual landings for the fire escapes.
No.
Oh, okay.
That should be in there though. That'd be awesome. Yes. So I played that, and again, I'm just gonna say, this has really kind of brought me around as far as the big Switch news and everything, because of course that's the super nerdy game news. It's not going to go away for a while. I almost think you're fine with a Wii. I just think you are. I think there's so many good games on there.
I talked to a guy today, actually about an hour ago.
Yeah.
And he is about to retire. And he was asking me about what I thought about the Switch. And I told him that I says, well...
Did you say, well, Nintendo's about to retire?
I said, I have no idea really what to think about it until I see it. But I probably won't see it because I probably won't buy one because they're not committing to one or the other for a handheld or a home market item. I think it looks more attuned to the handheld side. And the guy's like, well, I like Nintendo. I'm going to buy one. So I told him when he does, he needs to play it for a week and then come talk to us.
Okay, I
So
like
he
it.
said he's going to be on the class with us.
And I think that is the statement that anybody that's interested in a Switch, that's all the motivation you need.
Yeah.
I think that statement defines it perfectly. I like Nintendo. I'm going to get one. I think that's what people think when they're going to get a Switch.
Yep.
Which I think
that's what Nintendo thinks too.
Yeah, right. I totally agree with you. And I'm pretty sure you won't be disappointed because
Probably
I think
not.
that's what they're going to deliver is classic Nintendo.
Yep.
So, and again, it's a love-hate for me. It really is. I have so much respect for them for just saying, screw it, we're going to do Nintendo. We don't care what anybody thinks.
Yeah.
So I give them props for that. The other sweet thing I did was I went to the Lego store, got some sweet minifigures.
Of course you did.
Yep. The Batman movie minifigure Lego sets are out. This one right here. The Red Hood.
Oh, nice.
Pretty stoked. This one took us 45 minutes of looking through the minifigure bags to find it.
You were not looking.
We were feeling.
You were fondling every bag in the store.
I was using my tactile senses.
Yes.
Yes. And I was totally fondling them all. And the guy
this guy
at the
fondles
store,
a lot of sack.
Yeah. Only if there's Legos in them. And I'm good at it. 100% success rate. But it was fun. And all the little kids look at me weird. I was amazed at how many moms came up and asked me, they were like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm looking for certain ones. And they were like, damn it. And they started picking them up and feeling it too. I was like, my kid really wants a certain one. And
So
like,
now you're employed.
I was trying to help them find theirs. They were doing the same thing. But it almost made me, I didn't feel so much like the outcast. Because even moms were
You're
doing
important now.
Yeah, yeah. So that was fun. I always love the Lego store. So I guess that brings us to some of our bigger nerd news for the week. And the first up, I thought it was pretty big news. We got a Square Enix and Marvel collaboration. The first of which will be an Avengers game. It's a multi-game partnership, so there's going to be multiple, not just the Avengers. And it's going to start with the Avengers
Or
game.
it could be the Avengers, just multiple games.
Well, I guess it could be technically, yeah. But they said a multi-year agreement. The exact quote from Square Enix was, it will be a game designed for gamers worldwide. Will be packed with all the characters, environments, and iconic moments that have thrilled longtime fans of the franchise, featuring a completely original story. It will introduce a universe gamers can play in for years to come.
One thing that bothers me in that statement is the completely original story.
You think? Like it should have followed the movies a little more?
Maybe not follow the movies, but followed an established story within the books or movies.
I bet it'll at least have like subplot that does that. That
Probably.
then launches it into their own story. Kind of like your X-Men Legends or your Ultimate, the Marvel Alliance games.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody's there for their typical comic book reasons, but they're all together for the story of the game.
Yeah.
Right. I thought you might be kind of stoked. It is being made by Square Enix, which we've already mentioned several times.
Yep.
Is the Japanese developer king of games, right? And of what would you call them? RPGs.
Yep.
Right. And it's also being developed by Crystal Dynamics, so Tomb Raider.
Yep.
Right. And Eidos Montreal, which
Eidos.
is DSX, which I'm a big fan of. So, which is totally different styles of games. They both have that RPG element, but the Tomb Raider is very much third-person action.
Very
and,
third-person in action.
The
It's-
DSX is first-person action. It's a first-person shooter, but it's more a first-person exploration style game.
Okay.
But
Well, you can play that one from what I've not played it myself, so from what I've heard, you can play that one kind of like you can do the Metal Gear Solid. You can play it total stealth if you want to, or you can go in and just barge in and just do a bunch of wet work.
oh yeah, like I've done a mission in it where I went in and just like slaughtered everybody, and then when I went to leave, I the guys will come in to then take you out because now you've caused mayhem. And when I leave, nobody will ever see me leave because I'll do the sneaky leave, or I'll do it vice versa, where I go in and nobody sees me on the way in, and then it's chaos and you get swarmed by guys, and then you just totally do the commando exit. So you can play it, or you can just go stealth, commando, like however you want to play that game, you can. That's one of the coolest things about it.
Nice.
So it is actually a lot of fun, but it's kind of quirky, which I would say is kind of how I feel about Tomb Raider. Like, I like Tomb Raider, and I think as far as a third-person action, it's up there on my list. Mm-hmm. But it's a little quirky. There's just something about it that's a little different.
So the latest one, they added a, essentially you'd have your ice pickaxes.
Yeah.
And you can add a cable to that. So you can now use your ice pickaxe as a throwable,
Grappling hook?
grappling hook.
Yeah. Huge fan of the grappling hook.
I love it, but as far as what did and didn't get a lot of development time, that didn't get a lot of development time. And that's probably like the most quirky thing in it.
Huh.
And it kind of bugs me.
That sounds very Uncharted 4.
Except for the way you can use it is better than Uncharted 4.
Because you can use it anywhere? Or at least more than just the stationary spots?
Any grabbable ledge
Yeah.
technically can be grapple hooked.
Huh.
But the parameters for where it will actually hook, where you have to be, to where you release it, to what, it doesn't work right, man. They needed a little more work on that.
So does Just Cause have the edge on the grapple hook then?
That's all Just Cause is.
Yeah,
the
right.
freaking grapple hook.
You can't. I loved in that game how you.
Oh wait, and a parasail.
Yeah, well, another it's got some cool stuff, but you can't jump or climb over this little 2-inch edge. But you can grapple hook up it.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So I was wondering, in the trailer they show some kind of iconic Avengers footage, right?
Yeah.
You get your. I assume the first one they showed the
You know what I got more out of it than anything?
What was that?
Injustice.
Oh, really? Yeah, I guess I could see
got
that.
so totally an Injustice feel out of it.
Yeah, I could completely
Like this apocalyptic world, this
Yep.
don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Do you think the first one with the glasses is Banner? That first scene is the glasses, and it's like the container that's ripped open, and I was thinking, is that like Banner that's burst out of something?
Or he was Banner, and then he went Hulk to.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. I was thinking Hulk, then they show Thor's hammer, Iron Man's hand that starts to glow, and then you get Captain America's shield.
Was that Iron Man or was that War Machine? Because there's no color to it. So
it's true, but I would say Iron Man, maybe strictly based on the fact that it was the orangey kind of glow.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean anything, right? It could be usually he's got the blue repulsors too, so I don't know. Yeah, it could be. I'm assuming Iron Man because they're going to sell it with Iron Man, right?
Of course.
Yeah. But I was wondering, the way they end it is with the Reassemble.
Yes.
Right. So maybe it'll take place after the Civil War timeline.
Yeah.
Right.
It would have to be.
Assuming. Yeah. Like there's some reason they've fallen apart and they're going to get back together. Do you think multiplayer? I'm hoping like co-op.
It better be.
That's
I don't know
with it too.
I don't know if it's going to be or not, but I know from what I've read online about it is they're just expressing worries about it being such a big name title. Period.
Yeah.
And I'm not against the big titles because I'm thoroughly loving my Tomb Raider, and I gotta say I'm liking it better than Uncharted so far.
I think the thing that you expressed concern about, that it's not part of an existing story, I think actually gives me a little bit of relief. Because
Really?
I don't like it when they just regurgitate necessarily, when they necessarily try to redo something in the other medium like that. Like I'm almost a fan of the side story or the tangent, or give me something else to bring it together.
There has been good stories done. There are side stories. Batman, the whole Arkham series that follows their own story, and they do a great job telling it.
And but it still exists within the Batman world.
Yes.
We know, right? So totally.
So they can totally do a good job with that, but so many times I've seen them just ruin a story, writing their own story, when they could have just followed something that's written and already epic and already amazing, and it's all laid out for them.
Yeah.
And just concentrated better on bringing that to a playable immersing you into the experience of it.
Yeah. Well,
And I think getting immersed into that experience is far more important than what story they're following.
yes.
I mean, if it's an epic story, I don't care if it's one I know or not.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's touchy, and I think the way you have to do it is if you're going to deal with a classic story, it needs to be classic, and it needs to own that story completely the way that we loved it and we know it to be. Right?
oh, absolutely.
Or
Which is why I'm
needs
worried
to be
about
their own story. Like it has to be one or the other. Don't do that's otherwise you got another Batman versus Superman, right?
exactly.
And which is, that's our favorite movie. So if we can recommend, if there's a unicorn out there, it's Batman versus Superman. It's Jeremiah's favorite movie.
Oh my god. No, it's like
Tell
Leprechaun,
all
the
your
movies.
friends. Yeah, tell all your friends. Jeremiah loves that movie. Watches it.
Actually, I think it was your brother was the one that really loved that
You
movie.
put your Jeep in park as often as you can just to watch some more Batman vs Superman. I know you do.
No. I've already said which movie that one was. And you probably don't even remember.
Oh, don't be like that. Down Periscope.
It is Down Periscope.
Nailed it. Okay, that's 2 for 2 today. So, I don't know. I'm wondering what the gameplay style will be. You think it'll be third person action?
If they want to showcase the characters that you're playing, they'll have to be third person.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with. I love third person, so.
Do you think it'll be I'm wondering if it'll be almost kind of like your GTA style where it's third person and you can play online with other people within your missions, but they don't distract from the screen. Or do you think it'll be like Diablo where you can do the same thing, but we all kind of have to stay sort of within that same screen a little more? You know what I mean? Almost like the Marvel Alliance games.
Yeah. I think it's going to be more GTA style.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Especially if they're having the budget that's going to take two studios to develop.
Yeah, and major studios.
Yeah.
I mean, really you have 3 if you count Square, Crystal, and the IDOS. Like, right? They're all major studios.
Yeah.
So, I'm really curious about it. I want to see more. The trailer was such a joke. It was.
I don't know. It looked like the opening sequence of Injustice to me.
Very much. Totally.
I saw that. I'm like, going, God, they just brought the Injustice trailer out and just slapped Marvel stuff over top of it.
Yeah.
Like, here we go.
Yep. So I don't know. We'll keep you posted on that. If we hear something, we'll try to let you know. The other thing in the gaming world that I wanted to just kind of touch on real quick is that Thomas Mahler. It's got that H in there. It's throwing me off. He's the creator of Ori and the Blind Forest, and he has commented on the Project Scorpio.
Okay.
And he had some very interesting things to say that, this isn't directly coming from Xbox, but still, for him to boast this. He says Scorpio isn't just a half-assed...
Ori and the Blind Forest, that was only available on Xbox.
Yes, totally.
Which is the one that I was talking about that I wished we could have gotten.
Yeah, me too. I'm in the same boat. I really wanted to play it. It looked really cool. It won awards. So as far as the game itself, I think he deserves credit for that, right? Like this is a game developer that's worth noting things that he has to say. As far as what he's saying here, I don't know, because he's not actually Microsoft, right? But what he's saying is Scorpio isn't just a half-assed upgrade, which the PS4 Pro kind of is the way he stated it, but a full-blown next-generation machine that's just backwards compatible to your current library. From this point on, similar to PCs, you'll not lose your library when you buy a next-gen system, is what he said. So
I'm good with that, except for with the Project Scorpio. Does that mean they're going to be developing games that are specific to Scorpio and will not work on your older system? Because that is what the PS4 Pro is doing. So anything that's going PS4 Pro is something that's going to be playable by yours or my PS4.
yes.
So...
Well, and that brings me to the next point. Microsoft has already previously said that the Scorpio will put an end to the console generation, and that all the games released for the Scorpio will be playable on Xbox One. That's what Microsoft has said. But Microsoft is known for stating something and then going back on what they've said.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I think
just like how you share games.
Yeah, right? I think this generation system specifically has kind of highlighted the way that they've done that. I think that all the changes they've made are completely for the good. And I think everybody that's a fan of Xbox is celebrating, and even some PlayStation fans are jealous of that. So,
yeah.
What's that?
I need to go.
Oh, really? You gotta go? All right. Well, while you go, I will top off our beers.
All right.
Nice. I like that we got the counter. The unofficial official. Well, I'm gonna open another beer. Let's keep the ball rolling. Just gonna give Jeremiah a ton of head there. That sounds so bad.
I hate that I'm the first one that had to do that.
I love that you were the first one.
Hardly ever has to do that.
No, I'm gonna edit out all the rest so everybody thinks it's always you.
Oh, of course you are.
Yeah. So we're back. We got some more full beers.
Oh, wow. Nice side effect to go in the restroom.
Yeah, you like that, right? Out with beer, more beer in.
Yep.
So a little side note on the beer. I want to say, maybe this is just me. Like I said, my nose isn't working super awesome today, but when you drink it, can you almost feel a little bit of outbursty in there with minus the citrus? No?
The initial malt hit kind of has almost that kind of great flavor profile.
A little bit. It's
Yep.
definitely not as citrusy. Outburst
No.
is definitely citrusy. And this, I wouldn't say is this, but it's got that same kind of, the mouthfeel is similar and the sweetness to it is similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I kept thinking that when I was drinking it. So as far as the Xbox, the Scorpio thing, it's supposed to be 4.5 times as powerful as their current Xbox. And it comes
Okay.
out this holiday season. If this guy has any merit for saying what he said, Xbox didn't exactly counterpoint him back on anything, which also maybe is a sign that there's some truth to it. I don't know. But I thought it was a pretty boastful statement on his side, so it was worth mentioning.
No, totally. I agree with that. And I don't know, just puts more fuel in the Xbox fire.
Yeah, well, I'm all for it. I love the kind of, trying to one up each other and pushing, giving the competition there to both of them to try to rise and have the best system. I think
Except it doesn't feel like Sony cares right now.
No, well, I think they're riding their high, man. They're at the top of the wave, and I don't think they have too much to be concerned about.
Well, it sounds like they will soon.
Maybe. We'll see. I'm
Which is
really
good.
curious what's going to happen with it. Yeah. So maybe the biggest news of the show,
Yes.
and I think we should talk about it. We got our announcement for what the next Star Wars movie, Episode 8,
Yes.
will officially be called.
Yes.
And that is... I'm gonna let you have all the glory.
It's The Last Jedi.
Yeah, in red.
Okay,
Ooh.
in red.
Ooh, it's the first time it's been in red. People are talking about that. So my question to you is, who is the Last Jedi?
Based on how that last one ended, I'm gonna have to go with Rey.
You think so? It's not
Yeah.
Luke?
No.
What if Luke dies and before he trains her? What if what if he's training her and she leaves, and then before she finishes her training, and then he dies? Like, how much more Empire could this movie get, right? I also thought, what
Yeah.
if she just stands there the whole time holding that lightsaber, and they go to show the next movie, and he's like, I don't want it. You keep it.
I got rid of that thing years
Yeah,
ago.
it's
What are
like-
you doing bringing that thing back?
Yeah. It was mint in the box, right? Yeah.
It was mint in the box.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we're going to the meme route,
Yeah.
I saw one the other day that I thought was hilarious. It was all three titles now.
Yeah.
So it was The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, from his nap.
Yeah. I saw that too. That
I
was
was like,
pretty
that's
good.
hilarious.
I think it could be Luke. But to be fair, let's talk about Luke for a second.
Is he a Jedi?
Yeah, right? Is Luke even technically a Jedi?
Yeah. Darth Vader admitted it.
He did?
Yeah, he says, "Oh, you've constructed your own lightsaber. Your skills are complete."
Oh, I guess so then,
Yeah.
right? I guess if Darth is going to say it, right? He got his approval from his dad finally.
Yep.
Yep. Because I was wondering that. Like, if Yoda has to be the one to finally, like, initiate him to the full-on, yes, you're a Jedi. Yeah.
Yes. Rest.
Yeah. If that's the case, then maybe he's not actually a full Jedi, right? And Yoda would then technically be the last Jedi.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And then I'd wondered, is he going to train Rey?
And then there is no Jedi Council anymore, so how do they promote? I mean, is it basically like it was before the Council was ever even invented?
Yeah. Like, I don't
So,
know.
yeah.
Right? Well, and like like I know that Luke had the camp, right? Where he was training the Jedis.
Yeah.
Or just up-and-comers. And the one prodigy that he just totally latched onto was Kylo.
Yep.
And it went to his head, like it always does. And he went to the dark side, right? Which
Yeah.
is what they do. And so does that mean that there's a possibility for other, like, half-trained Jedi pupils to be out there then? Like, was Kylo the only other person he was actually training in the camp? Or could this be a whole new Jedi that shows up?
Wow. I didn't even think about that. It makes total sense, though.
Like, what if even the movie starts and she's got her little saber there and they have their little scene and it pans around, suddenly there's like 5 other Jedis that come out of the rocks, right? Like, but because we seriously don't know.
Yeah.
It was a school, as far as I've known. I mean, typically there's more than one student, so...
Yeah, unless you're Sith.
Yeah, right, yeah. And then even then, can there be more than one Sith? It's just one under the master?
Yes, it's
So
always
there-
2.
So but that's it. Out of
Yes.
all of them.
All right.
There's never another, like, Emperor guy with another Sith guy or nothing?
Always 2 there are.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Making sure. I'm not the super Star Wars nerd.
I'm not a super Star Wars nerd by any stretch of the imagination either.
I mean, I loved it as a kid. I was always into it, but I've definitely fallen a little bit out of the Star Wars loop as they've gone on.
Well, they're just by this new, what they're doing now, they're not following the after stories that were written later either, so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. I'm really curious. Do you think it's maybe Kylo? Do you think he sees the error of his ways and comes back around? Totally pulls a Darth Vader?
He is way too self-absorbed. Way too self-absorbed.
That might have just been his rock bottom, though, right?
Yeah, maybe.
And he got, like, injured and whatnot. You think he's going to come back as the new Vader? He'll have some robotic parts now.
Well, no,
They're
he's
gonna
going
start
back to
getting him.
Snoke. He's going back to... No, Snoke's not going to let him go. I mean, if Kylo has a turnaround, it's not going to be this movie. It's going to be the next movie.
Yeah, which would be way more Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited because it is so the Star Wars we love, but at the same time, I've said it a million times, I don't want this to be just the rehashed of what we've already had. Too much. And I know you're fine with it.
I am totally fine with it. I really am.
All right. We'll have to see. Okay. So let's do it. Let's do a prediction. Who do you think the Last Jedi is?
Rey.
Rey? I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say it's maybe somebody we haven't even seen yet.
Think so?
Yeah. I'm just going to do it and say it because that wouldn't surprise me actually.
No, wouldn't.
Really? I don't think it would either. It's some sort of a twist in there to throw us for a loop. Maybe. We'll see.
I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see. So, you know what?
I know
That kind of
what do you
brings
wanna
us
know?
to our anime
Oh, yes.
for the month, which we watched the Fate series. We watched Fate Stay Night. We watched the full series. We're going to bring it all
Yes.
full circle now. We watched Fate Stay Night, The Unlimited Blade Works. Was our
Correct.
show for this month. And I have to say it is nothing like the other one.
At all.
That at least the first Fate Stay Night, not the Unlimited Blade Works, the original one.
Yeah.
Even though they're the same story, I would say as soon as it
aren't the
hits
same
that
story.
season 2,
Dude, season
it's
like
so different.
episode 7, 8 is when they start to really change.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty much just after all of the familiars or what do you call it?
The servants.
Servants. After all the
Yeah.
servants have been summoned, is about when it starts to take a completely different twist and movement. And I've got an interesting theory on that.
Okay.
But I want to hear what you're thinking first.
As far as why they are different?
Yeah, what's different? What's going on? What's your take on it?
Okay. I think a big key point is that Shiro, right? That the archer is actually Shiro,
Yes.
right? So I think that is there's a huge difference there as far as that goes. That and the Betty and Veronica.
And they hint on that a little bit in the first one too.
They do. I didn't notice that. I actually went back and started watching some of the first
I did a
one
little
again.
bit too.
Okay. Is that why you noticed that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I noticed that the first time I watched the first one again, I was like, wait, this isn't right. This isn't right. You know, he's supposed to be Archer.
Yeah.
And then I started, like, as I was watching, I went, I see, there's a little hint there, and then they never followed it. They just never followed into that story any more than that.
Well, I would say that first season is definitely more vague as far as...
No, I'm talking about, like, the first one, though, the first Fate Stay Night.
Yeah.
You know, I'm watching it because I had seen Unlimited Blade Works as my first Fate show, period. And then went back and watched the original Fate Stay Night, and it was like, this is nothing like what I remembered.
Yeah, well, and but I think that first series is a little more vague. It doesn't spell things out quite as much for you. Like the Unlimited Blade Works it does spell things out a little more for you. It's definitely more newer anime.
Yes.
But I loved it so much more, and I was actually I was thinking today that I'm not so proud of myself for that. Because as far as this series goes, I'm a fan of the new hip trendy one, right? The classic one, I think you could leave it as far as I'm concerned. I don't know that it needs to be.
It has a much better fleshed out story.
The new one now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it has. It's like the first one was going great, and like the writer was just struggling for something to do. Well, we'll just throw a love story into it because the love story just like totally happened weird out of the blue.
Yeah.
And it did not feel organic at all the way it happened.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And the love interest this way is way more organic and handled way better.
Yeah, which I'd always thought, though, in that first run, that there was a little bit of chemistry between
there was
Shiro and Tosaka also, right?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of started to see a couple little sparks fly there, and then he totally went Betty.
Okay, now here's my total theory on what's going on here.
Okay, do you think? Okay, does it involve time travel?
It does.
Okay, that's why I was saying the Shiro arrow is Shiro. I want to say there was some sort of a time travel involved in there where something got changed.
The moment they introduce time travel, you have infinite parallel lines.
Mm-hmm.
So the arrow or the archer that is coming back this time around is the archer from the first time around, and is still jolted from losing the lover and then losing everything straight through.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's the one that followed that path all the way through and created the Unlimited Blade Works, yada, yada, yada. And then he gets summoned back again and immediately takes this turn of, no, it's not happening like it happened last time. I'm totally going to kill this kid and done with this.
Yeah, which is...
Spoilers by everybody.
Yeah, which is his ultimate motivation, though.
Yes.
Like, really, through the whole series, the Archer's motivation is that... Well, it's both there. I think Archer's and Shiro's is that it's not going to be the way it was. Right?
Yeah.
But that's their driving force, both of them.
But like I said, I feel they totally encompass the original storyline by having that. You know, it's just introducing a whole nother parallel timeline to it.
Yeah, I'd wondered...
They don't say that, but that's just totally the feel I get watching it.
Yeah.
So...
What did you think? Do you still stand by that the Unlimited Blade Works is your standout favorite from the three?
By far.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm still going to say Zero.
Really?
I really think Zero for me, and again, it's the servants. The servants are what sold it for me. I think that in Unlimited Blade Works, I think that the masters, I guess you call them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're more appealing in the Unlimited Blade, especially in that first run. They don't come across as whiny and like dealing with their little stupid adolescent problems while there's all this other chaos going on.
Well,
right?
a couple of the sideline ones do, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So I feel like it was better, but in the fighting, there's some really cool fighting in the Unlimited Blade Works. The Hercules fights are just like beyond awesome, which was a huge difference also because in the new one, the Hercules is killed by the archer.
No. Hercules was not killed by Archer. Hercules was in the first one. Oh, you're talking about the Golden Archer.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
In the first one though, it was
Shiro and
Shiro and Ren.
Saber.
Yeah. Wasn't it in Ren too? Or it was the good guy little crew, right? They
No,
took
it
him
was
out.
it was Saber and Shiro. Because remember, 'cause the one strike with the scabbard and the sword combined
Yes, that's
created killed him 12 times in one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that was totally different, which I was actually, that was the moment when I was like, okay, this is like super different. That's not how that fight went down. That was like that first just really distinct difference. And then from there, I actually I finished out probably the last 5 episodes of Unlimited Blade Works as I watched the last like 8 episodes of the other one also.
Okay.
To try to kind of back and forth them to just
So
put all
I
the
just went
pieces
back
together.
and watched a few episodes, just
Yeah.
hit and miss, just to get quite an idea where it was going.
Yeah, but I love the fighting. Again, the pacing I think is so much better in the Unlimited Blade Works than the original run.
Way better.
But I'm such a fan of Zero. I really am. I love the other Emiya, Shiro's pretty much foster father or
Yes.
whatever. I love his little side story that happens at the end of
Dude,
Zero.
that is awesome.
You were a fan of that.
Okay, that whole, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't
And
it almost
that totally explains
Black Lagoon-ish? Did you get any of that from that? Where it's
Yeah,
like this
maybe a
almost
little bit.
innocent kind of guy, and there's like this sort of a little bit of a crush kind of thing going on, but no one's going to talk about it. And then the badass chick that kind of trains him through it all.
Maybe
it kind of
maybe
reminded me, at
maybe
least
a little
reminded me
bit.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if you noticed in the Stay Night, though, they touch on that. Or the Unlimited Blade Works, they touch on that a little bit. The whole, because you know how he 10 years ago, they flash back to the Eisenburn, because he was the Eisenburn. He's contracted by the Eisenburns to do it and to be the master for them. And in this one, you have the Eisenburn girl, who turns out to be the Grail itself.
Yeah.
But so you've got the Eisenburn girl, and she's totally this weird psychosis where she just goes crazy because of him. And they touch on that. Did you notice that?
I didn't really notice
Oh yeah,
that.
you have to watch that. It's pretty cool.
I have to check that part out again.
Yeah, because she's totally expecting him to come back and everything else, and while you're learning this whole backstory about him and everything else, then he picks up Emiya and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she ends up going crazy, and
I'll have to check that out.
yeah,
I really, really enjoy. I think as far as just kind of an anime series, especially one that moves from one generation to a next, it's really high up there for me. I think it's done. I think that Zero and Unlimited Blade Works as a set is awesome. They're really, really good together.
I think they go together way better than just Stay Night and Zero.
Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yes, and it almost takes the spotlight off of Saber a little bit.
Yes, it
Right?
does.
In that original, in the original Stay Night, and then if you watch Zero right after it, it really seems like Saber is just the highlighted character that they just cannot talk enough about. And then by the time you watch the Unlimited Blade Works, she kind of steps back in the shadows a little bit in there.
Yeah, but if with Stay Night though, if you go and you look back at some of the more not necessarily the forefront histories, or I shouldn't say histories, but myths of Arthur. Some of the lesser known, or some of the earlier myths, I should say, before they got super embellished, are the ones that they're pulling from for this story. And I think that's why Saber was central to it,
Yeah.
because a lot of this story work and stuff that's built into it was based off of the King Arthur stories.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool. And then did you see that Harry Potter reference?
No.
Oh, the Tosaka and Emiya Shiro's date.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go to the store and it's totally the red-haired mage with the round glasses.
I didn't even notice. Did not even pick
They're
that
all
one up.
trying glasses on, and he turns to the camera, and it's totally freaking Harry Potter.
Which I think is also a sign of when it came out. Right?
Yeah.
As opposed to the other one. Like
Exactly.
Harry Potter wasn't even a thing then.
No,
Yeah.
but it was a total jab at Harry
Which
Potter.
again makes me feel a little bit ashamed for appreciating this one so much more than the other one, right? Again, they're just like stripping it of any sort of nostalgia and throwing in all these current pop culture references.
I thought it was hilarious, though. I liked it.
Yeah. I think bottom line, they're both really good. Who's your favorite character from Unlimited Blade Works?
Ooh, Unlimited Blade Works. I still got to say the old Emiya, so i.e. Archer.
Yeah, I think it's hard to not like him.
Yeah.
How about Zero? Did you have a favorite?
For Zero, as much as I hate to admit it, I think Ryder grew on me.
Ryder's awesome.
He
I
is.
love Ryder. and a close second for me is the caster. The caster and that guy's... I loved their little... Again, it's like the Archer thing in the new one,
Although-
right? It's like you have to appreciate their brutality.
Although
and
the
their
other
stance that
Emiya,
they
the
take.
older Emiya,
Oh, he's
he
really
is pretty badass too.
Yeah.
But I think his partner chick is pretty badass too, though.
Yes.
I don't know.
And Ilya, the
Eisenburn.
the Eisenburn chick is so polar different.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's obsessed with Shiro in that first run, and there's really none of that in the Unlimited Blade Works. That part of it doesn't really ever come into play, right?
Yep.
Which I liked that approach better too. But it made her seem like a child, and in this one, in the Unlimited Blade Works, she doesn't come across as so much of a child. They almost give you like all those scenes where they get her circuits all working on her body, and it's like causing her all this pain, and she's trying to get the Hercules
she's
to work
linking
with her.
with Hercules, yeah.
Like it gives her so much more of a mature feel.
Yeah.
So I liked her.
I liked
character a
that
lot
much better.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, obviously we have a lot of good things to say about it. I think that really for me, this is one of the best animes I think we've watched that I've felt like personally invested in. Maybe it's because it took 3 months to get through the whole series, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Even watching Zero twice, I loved it just as much as I did the first time.
Yeah.
And it's still my favorite over the Unlimited Blade Works. Unlimited, it's like neck and neck. I'll give it to you, but
I'm
Zero
glad
just
I
oversteps
watched
it.
Unlimited Blade Works first.
Yeah.
Because if I had watched the first one, it probably wouldn't have been like you would have been like, yeah, let's watch these ones. Nah.
Yeah.
It was okay. I didn't mind it,
the
but
whole story, well, now that we have a little bit of
and
that,
coming from me, the person who's a sucker for a cheap love story.
Yes, right. Yeah, I was gonna say too.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Is that what you think about me?
No, you are.
I know.
And sometimes when we watch the stuff, you can appreciate that part of it. And we all know I'm the guy put on the goddamn suit, right? Which is fine. I want to know why you want to put the suit on, but hurry up and put it on.
Yeah.
So if we have to put a score on the Unlimited Blade Works, what do you think?
Unlimited Blade Works, I'm going to say a 7.
A 7? I'm going to say... I was trying to remember what I actually gave the Zero. I think I gave it an 8. And I think that... I'm going to give this... If that's the case, which I think it is, I'm going to give this a 7.75. For me, they're way up there. I think they're really great animes. I think everybody should... Well, obviously, we can't shut up about it. And I think everybody... you should check it out. If you're into animes, go check out the Stay Night series. Totally worth checking
very good.
out. Do we have any idea of what next month's anime will be?
I was thinking about that, and I'm thinking... I started watching it. I think we should probably continue the Kuro.
Okay, you want to do a season 2?
Yeah.
See if it owns up?
Yeah.
Okay. I was only so-so on the season 1.
So was I, but I was way into it at the beginning. And then it kind of fell through at the end, and then like picked up right at the end.
Yeah.
It's like the very end of it, it barely picked up. And I got to say, I watched the first 2 episodes. First 2 episodes are looking pretty decent. So
Oh, nice. Okay.
it's probably going to do the exact same thing it did last time.
Okay. So, Kuro.
Okay.
I'm actually stoked with it because now I can say it. I should be able to say it for the whole next month. Kuro. No, that's not it, Marcus. So, I'll be able to say it this whole next month. We're going to watch season 2.
Yes.
And I believe it's Netflix.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Netflix original series.
So, we'll watch that. And I guess, should we mention next month as far as beer goes? No, let's talk about this month first, huh?
Okay.
Let's wrap it up. Wicca! Beer wrap up. What do you think of the Dawn of the Red?
I think it works really well. And I was just looking on the label here, which I never really paid attention to before. I'm sure I did it one time, but didn't think about it.
Yeah.
But it totally says red IPA.
Yeah.
Which totally fits everything we've been describing it as.
That's completely what it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that.
It's an IPA. It's an IPA first. So it's backwards. It should be an IPA red. But,
yeah. And really, I'm so fine with that because I agree with you that it should be an IPA red because the standout qualities are the IPA, which would be my go-to, right? And the other the red part of it is not what I'm such a big fan of, but it totally gets coaxed in there with that IPA part, and I'm actually really kind of enjoying it.
Me too. And it's like my buddy who has it always has it on hand. I always drink it, and I never don't enjoy it. I mean, it's always, I never have to buy it that way, but it's yeah. He's always got it on hand. It's always good, and it's not my go-to beer, but it's definitely one of the better ones out there, I think. For what's readily available, what you can find in the store every time.
Well, and I think that it's not really overly IPA, which is kind of nice. I think it lingers. You get a little bit of that bitter in the back, and it kind of lingers a little bit, but it's definitely a little more malty. A little bit of that caramel in there, which I kind of like, and that kind of lingers on your tongue. But the initial drink of it, I think is a little smoother, almost because it doesn't have that super kind of citrusy, almost acidy.
Yeah, it's not overly hopped.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of a really nice middle ground there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really well balanced. I guess maybe that's what I'm going with there.
It is, and like mostly from the malt hit right at the front.
Mm-hmm.
Nice beer stash.
Thanks.
Yeah.
No, I'm really enjoying it. I think, boy, if I had to say, I think for me it's like, I think it's like a 7. I think
that's
it's good.
where I'm getting 7.
Nice. You know what they say.
Yeah, but can't count that for anything.
It's really good after having 2.5 of them.
Yeah. And a couple other beers to start.
Yeah. So I guess we can roll into next month.
Yes.
Next month. I'm excited for next month.
I'm really excited for next month. We had a great time at the 282.
We did. We went to 282, local pub right around here, and we did trivia night, which we did not do so good at.
Hey, I totally got everything that I suggested right.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for suggesting 2 things.
3.
But we didn't do last.
No, we did not do last. We were far from last.
Yes. But while we were there, it was Rogue Brewers Night.
Yep.
And so there was a bunch of Rogue beer there. And we actually got to talk to Jeff, who was
totally hooked us up.
Yep. Hooked us up with some swag.
Mm-hmm.
Hooked us up with...
Yeah.
Is that right? Is it swag or schwag?
I'm going to say swag.
Okay, I really want to say schwag.
You can say whatever you want.
But he hooked us up with some...
We'll let the internet decide.
Okay. We hooked ourselves up with some... Or hooked us up with some hats and some T-shirts and actually hooked us up with some beers. So I'm thinking next episode we'll go with the one that he gave us.
All right.
Which I have right here, off to the side, right off camera.
Okay.
Which is the Cold Brew IPA. I'm stealing your thunder. I apologize.
That's fine.
And it's by Rogue Brewing. It's a revolutionary blend. India Pale Ale blend with cold brew coffee.
Oh, interesting.
So very interesting, right? And so I picked up another one because he gave us one. Picked up another one so we can each drink.
And where did you find
beer.
that, if you don't mind me asking?
I got this at the QFC.
Okay.
So people can go find that at QFC. I figure he gave us 2 beers.
See another really cool bottle over there.
That's
and
true. I'm getting to that one. Yeah. This one we're going to have next episode. Then I think we should either do you or me. We'll pick our own Rogue favorite.
All right.
And then we'll flop. The other guy will pick a Rogue favorite. And then we will end the month with this other beer that Jeff gave us. And
Which
I went to...
looks freaking amazing.
It is the Rogue Old Crustacean Barley Wine Style Ale 2016 edition, 10.75%. And I looked at our local bottle shop here and talked to the guys there. And his response was that is not a cheap bottle of alcohol by any means, and that he does not have one, and good luck finding another one, and that we will have to wait till their 2017 run to even get another one. So
this was Chris?
This is what Chris said at the bottle shop. So
wow.
He was actually, as impressed as Chris gets over beer, right? Because he's got the best beer in the world there, so it's hard to impress Chris.
And he's opening his own brewery, too.
Yeah, so, which is awesome.
Which we're going to have to do a live...
That would be sweet. But I'm really stoked to try this. I say we save it to the end of the month. That's
going to be Stanwood Camino's first brewery.
Is it, where's it going to be at?
It's going to be out on the island.
Is that the one at Terry's Corner?
No.
Okay.
No,
because that one's coming in there too. What is it?
The one that's opening in Terry's Corner.
What is that one there?
It's a
dog
brew pub.
Something? Dog piss? Dog something? It's not this beer.
No, it's
dog something.
Oh, what was it now?
Maybe it's not dog.
I had it before you said that. Anyway, no, it's not him. It's another established brewery that's just opening a brew pub on the island. They're taking the spot of the old collective.
Yeah.
Who kind of like disappeared.
That's kind of what I thought they would do out there.
Yeah, who just kind of disappeared like overnight.
Yeah, which
doesn't surprise me right here. I really care because I didn't care for the collective.
Yeah, it was only okay out there. It was my biggest.
They had 40 taps.
Well, they had a lot of good beer, but you paid for it there, man. And
you paid for it, and you didn't. And the people that were selling it to you didn't know what they were selling you.
Yes, which is a big drawback.
Yep.
I remember when I would go in there to the collective, you could order a glass of the beer you wanted, and it would be like $8. And if it was, of course, all the beers I want are potent beers, and they're the higher end that they have there, so I get them in the little teeny glass, right, with the foot on it. So, but if you ordered their sampler, you could order all the same beers in the sampler and get more beer for cheaper price than you would have gotten in that little glass. If I would have just ordered 7 samplers of that same kind.
Well, no, it was like 2 ounces less.
Not less than the little bottle or the little glass.
No, I think the little glass was still 7 ounces, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Because the sampler is between 3 and 5 ounces, depending which size sampler you got. Whose it is.
It was 5 of them.
Most of them are 5 ounce. Or most of them are like 3 ounce, but a lot of places do 5 ounce as well.
Well, you got 5 samples.
Yes, but what I'm saying is the samples are, by pour,
Yeah.
3 ounces or 5 ounces.
Well, if they're 5 ounces, you got more than that little glass, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Right? Because the little glass was so expensive. That always blew me away. And then you could order a sampler and get, as long as which you could change up the types, which was the point of it, right? But if you ordered the same kind, you could get more beer in the sampler than you could in the little glass. For like $1.50 less.
Okay, you're talking about by putting multiple glasses of that in
Yeah, by putting the multiple, by getting all your samples of the same sample.
Gotcha, what you're saying.
It was like $1.50 cheaper than getting the one glass of that beer, right?
Yeah.
So, which is what I would do when I went in there, just because it, economically made sense. But, so I thought that was kind of backwards about that place. And the other thing was that when I went there, I had the Arrogant Bastard there, which I was surprised came in that little glass, right? Like the fancy beer. And then later that weekend, I actually went down to the Blazing Onion and got a huge 22 glass of it for the same price.
Jeez.
And I was like, all right, collective, I'm sorry. You got to get your act together, man.
Yeah.
Like, right? That just hurt too bad. It's like, I mean, I love beer, but I'm also
I gotta see this one.
I'm not super opposed to money. So.
My first time looking at these.
Right? That's pretty fancy.
I gotta say, you running your mouth off worked for us really well this time.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, you mean to the rogue guy?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Yeah,
That's
I tried to
freaking
bait
awesome,
the hook
man.
and throw it out there, man. He bit a little bit.
Dude, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get a hold of him, see if we can get him on the cast.
Yeah, we'll talk to him, see what we can do.
Definitely.
It was awesome. Thank you, Jeff.
Yes, thank you very much,
It was
man.
super cool. I'm really stoked about this beer.
So looking forward to this.
All the response I've gotten on this is that it's a very limited run, and again, you can't get it anywhere until the 2017 edition comes out. So, and it was awesome because when he gave them to me, we went out to the trunk of his car, and it was like this little shady beer drug deal type thing in the parking lot where he's handed me like, here's a box of hats and t-shirts and beer. Here's some beers for you guys. But he was all about it, man. It was really cool. He's a really, really nice guy.
Dude, he was an awesome guy, dude. Easy to talk to. Totally knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Or at least knew how to nod right.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was cool to watch you totally nerd out about the beer thing with him. That was
Yeah,
cool.
it was. It was fun. I enjoyed talking with him about it.
So I'm excited. Next month, all Rogue beers.
Yep.
2 that we pick, 2 that Jeff picked.
Absolutely.
All right. So on that note,
All right.
to all the nerds,
Through all the fuzz.
bottoms up.
Let's
get
get
nerd buzzed. All right. So we're back.
We're back. Totally forgot the most important thing.
The
You gotta
most
follow
important-
us.
Please follow us. We would like to promote ourselves.
Of course.
Along with all the beer and the games and all the other nerd stuff we
At.
talk about. Please go to Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Nerdbuzzed.
Because it's
Favorite
the
thing.
AT-AT with the AT-AT.
Yes.
Or it's actually the AT-AT with the AT.
Yes. So follow us on Twitter. Give us a like on Facebook, on the YouTube, now that we're out there and you're watching us. You want to keep seeing our pretty faces? Please give us some likes. Let us know. Comment. Tell us your favorite nerd story, what you'd love to hear us talk about, anything nerdy, anything beer-y. We'd love to hear that too.
Yes,
We're totally into it.
suggestions. Please give us suggestions.
Fuel the nerd fire.
Won't happen next month. Sorry, we'll tell you, but
Yeah.
we'll get to it afterwards.
We would love to do it. Totally answer questions, all that stuff. So please support us, help us out, keep the nerd vibe going. One more time to all the nerds.
Through all the fuzz,
Bottoms up.
let's get nerd buzzed.